Hi everyone, so today I'm back with another first impression brand focus type video, and in the new year I recently noticed, proceeding to the end of December, that Models Own, which is like a British London kind of a brand, set up a pop-up booth in Singapore, and I picked up a whole load of things from them. Because ever since I heard the Wayne Goss video on how he talked about, you know, just how quality the products were, I was really intrigued, and when I saw that I was like, I really want to get so much stuff from them. So I picked up a lot of things, enough for a full face review, and as you can see in this bag I have a lot of things going on. If you saw all that like quick run through of all the products in the preview clip and you want to see how all those products translate onto the face, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm just going to use the matte foundation, applying a little bit on the back of my hand. The consistency is pretty thick, but it looks quite full coverage actually. This is the Makeup Forever 154 brush. Okay, so this is how it looks at the moment. I must say it's not the most hydrating formula. It actually looks to be clinging to a few of my textured surfaces in terms of dry patches. The shade match, I went for this colour just because it matches my neck pretty well. In the light it makes me look kind of washed out, but it does have a very nice yellow undertone. I can see how it's a little bit mattifying. At the moment it's feeling a bit tacky but not super tacky. So unfortunately there's not much coverage to it. It's just a really standard kind of light coverage foundation actually. It's not super brightening. I mean, it's decent. I don't feel super insecure, but you know, I wish it did have a little more coverage because it seemed to be really pigmented when it came out of the tube. Moving on to the Tea Tree Healing Concealer. I'm just going to apply it under my eye. So it did add a little more coverage. It really smells like tea tree, and it's quite pleasant actually. It feels a bit medicinal and it might actually do something for my skin in terms of my blemishes. My under eye circles are significantly brightened. It's not a super full coverage kind of a pigmented concealer, but it does help to bring the lightness in terms of coverage from the foundation and give it a little more coverage. It definitely has more coverage than the foundation. It's a little tacky, but I'm wondering with that tea tree component if it will dry out my under eye, just because tea tree oil tends to be that kind of thing that you use to dry out your blemishes. So I'm not too sure if it will make my under eye look a little bit aged or dry, but at the moment it's looking pretty good. It's not creasing in the fine lines and my under eye looks significantly brightened. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, moving on to this Sculpt and Glow palette which I picked up. I picked up the shade 01 and 04. The packaging is just really good. Even the box is like so simplistic and I don't know, it's just really nice. Palettes come in this really sturdy plastic packaging. As you can see, it has that holographic words to it. I got this in 01 and here in 04. I did that because the sculpting shade in the 04 I prefer, and the kind of blush shades I prefer in the light. So starting off with the 01 palette, I'm going to be using the Sculpt shade just as a bronzer. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit too orangey for my liking. So it's pretty pigmented, and there is quite a bit of fallout actually. So you can see my brush is already coated with product. I'm just gonna take off a bit of the product. So that gave quite a nice bronzing effect. I assume that if you set it with powder, if you set your foundation with powder, these will apply a little more smoothly, but at the moment it's a little bit patchy just because my foundation's a little bit wet. But if I had to be super critical, I think that a lot of my powdered bronzers, especially my favorites like the Laguna bronzer from NARS, they sit on top of foundation really well even if I don't set it with powder. So yeah, but this does involve a little bit more blending and you do have to work quickly, if not it will be a little patchy as it clings onto the different areas of foundation. But I don't mind. I mean, you just have to like work in big swooping motions, but I think that gave me quite a nice bronzing effect. So I'm going to go into the 04 palette and use this sculpting shade just to chisel out my cheekbones further. Yeah, I think that did the trick in terms of just chiseling out that cheek area a lot more. I think I'm going to use the Afterglow powdered blush. So if you guys can see that luminous finish onto it, like I mentioned, it had a gold shimmer in it, but I really like it. It gives my cheeks a very plumped and radiant kind of a finish, which actually with my very kind of oval features makes my cheekbones look like they actually exist, even though I really do not have prominent cheekbones. So yeah. Okay, so before I move on over to the eyeshadows, which is super exciting because those palettes look incredible, I actually picked up one of their Sculpt Glow highlighter sticks and it comes like that. It's a super huge kind of multi-stick highlighter stick, so I'm just going to apply it on the bridge of my nose. I tried this at the pop-up booth and it was pretty pigmented, so that's why I was so intrigued to try it. I'm loving that kind of creamy highlight effect, so I'm trying to incorporate it more into my routine. I have been using it, but I always like to somehow double up with my highlight. I put a cream and then I put a powder on top. So this looked really pigmented as I was trying it. On the cheeks it kind of translates a little bit underwhelmingly because on the hand it really looked quite pigmented, but you know, it's way more pigmented than a lot of the cream highlight sticks that I've tried. I've tried the Wet n Wild one, as you can see here. This is not very good. It actually doesn't translate into a shimmer on the cheek, so you know, when formulations are not pigmented, that gets me a little annoyed. But this is decent but not blowing me away, if that makes sense. Okay, so I got these two palettes from Model's Own. This one is called the Color Chrome. It comes in this super pretty packaging. It's like some watercolor effect, as well as the Barely There eyeshadow palette. So you know I love my neutrals, and I was like really excited to try this. At the back of the packaging they show you the colors they have to offer, as well as the testers at the store they also showed. So yeah, just going to show you how it looks like. I will use the cream products first. So here, I will use the shade Rose Gold. Okay, can you see that? It's so pigmented, oh my goodness. Holy shit, it's so pigmented, it's crazy. I'm so glad I picked up so much product from them, just because when I saw the stand I was pleased that they had testers and everything, and when I was trying it I was really blown away. And even before I left, when I came across this palette, I was just like, I need to have you, so yeah, that's why I picked it up. I'm in love, it's seriously so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Perhaps I will try another shade. I'll use Pure Gold. It's right here. I'm just gonna use that maybe on the inner third. These range from like a glittery finish to a metallic, just a standard cream eyeshadow. In the Barely There palette, I'm going to use the shade Buff right here. Okay, so I can't really tell whether it's applying a little bit patchy because of the powders or is it because I'm applying it on top of a cream base. So it might be that, but it's pretty pigmented as you can see. Compared to this side, my crease is really defined, and I love this brush just because it's like really flat and it gives me that kind of control to be able to create a feline flick, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's pretty pigmented. It's not entirely blendable, that's something I can say at this point. It's a little bit difficult to blend out to that smoky effect. It's not the most finely milled shadows, but it still does the trick. It gives me a very nice smoky look without trying too hard. Okay, so those are my eyes done. I just curled my lashes and put mascara. As you can see, the pop of that shimmer I put on the lid is really peeking through, giving it that halo effect. And the cut crease is looking pretty good, so my eyes are sufficiently brightened and looking really sultry and nice. I think that the shades of the Barely There palette is a little bit underwhelming just because there's really a steep competition when it comes to powdered eyeshadow palettes, but that cream eyeshadow palette is something that I've never seen before in terms of being fully cream and having to offer only cream shadows in a palette, so I'm really liking that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back in with that highlighting stick to add a bit more glow. Alright, so I also picked up a lip product. This is, actually they do have a lot to offer in terms of liquid lipsticks, velvet lipsticks, you know, matte formulation lipsticks, creamy lipsticks, but I tried a lot of their lip products as I was at the booth, but I didn't think they were really good. The liquid lipsticks weren't really fully mattifying and the shade selection they have is quite bright. There's nothing too much in the nude family, and the nudes that they have to offer is quite pale. So yeah, I ended up picking up their NYX lip gloss in this kind of plum, I guess you could call it like a plummy kind of a shade. So it's pretty pigmented as you can see, and it feels really comfortable on the lips. It's not like that kind of stringy lip gloss that does that kind of bunching up thing on your lips. It just hydrates it really well, and I think it's perfect transitioning from that winter festive period to, you know, just a pop of color on the lips. So yeah, this is the full look from Model's Own, and I'm not sure if you guys are even aware of the brand, but to be honest, when I discovered it from Wayne Goss's video, I was super intrigued and I started pulling a whole load of their product in my ASOS basket. But in the end I found out that they came to Singapore, so I was just really excited, and yeah, I hope you guys like this look. So I'm not sure what you guys think about it, but do leave it in the comments below, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me as well. So that's pretty much all I have for this full one brand video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna head out today and I'm really liking this look. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, do give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!